Right now, while you're reading this, tiny parts of your eyes are quietly dying and you probably have no idea it's happening. It's silent. It's painless. And by the time you notice, it might already be too late to reverse it. But there's one food, something you've probably eaten 100 times without knowing its real power, that eye doctors are now calling one of the best things you can eat before bed to protect your vision for decades to come. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your eyes as you age, because most people don't understand this until it's too late. At the very back of your eye, there's a tiny spot called the macula. It's smaller than a pencil eraser, but it's responsible for something huge, your sharp central vision. It's what lets you read a text message, recognize a face across the room, or watch your favorite show without everything looking like a blur. And here's the problem. As we get older, that little spot starts to wear down. Doctors call this age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, and it's actually the leading cause of vision loss in people over 50 in many parts of the world. What makes it so sneaky is that it doesn't hurt. There's no warning ache, no red flag. One day, straight lines just start looking a little wavy. Or the center of your vision gets a little cloudy, like there's a smudge on your glasses that won't wipe off. By the time people notice, damage has often already been building for years. So why does this happen? Think of your eyes like a camera that's been exposed to sunlight, blue light from screens, and oxidative stress every single day for your entire life. Over time, that constant exposure creates something called oxidative damage. Basically, tiny bits of cellular wear and tear caused by unstable molecules known as free radicals. Your eyes are especially vulnerable to this because they're constantly processing light. And light, as beautiful as it is also a form of energy that can damage delicate tissue over time. Now here's where it gets interesting, because your body actually has a built-in defense system for this. Inside the macula, there are two special pigments called lutein and zeaxanthin. Picture them like a pair of internal sunglasses sitting right in front of the light-sensitive cells of your eye, filtering out harmful, high-energy blue light before it can do damage and neutralizing free radicals before they hurt your cells. The problem is, your body doesn't produce these pigments on its own. You have to get them from food, and most people simply aren't getting enough. This is where the food comes in, and I promise it's not some exotic superfood you've never heard of. It's kiwi fruit. Yes, that small, fuzzy, bright green fruit sitting in your kitchen right now might be one of the most underrated foods for your eyes, especially when eaten in the evening. And once you understand why timing matters as much as the food itself, you'll never look at your nighttime snack the same way again. Here's the first reason kiwi stands out. Gram for gram, kiwi fruit contains a meaningful amount of both lutein and zeaxanthin, those two protective pigments we just talked about. While a lot of people rush to buy expensive lutein supplements, they're often skipping right past a whole natural source that's sitting on the grocery shelf for of the price. And when these nutrients come from real food rather than a pill, they tend to come bundled with other supportive compounds that help your body actually absorb and use them. Speaking of absorption, that's the second reason kiwi is so effective. It's loaded with vitamin C. In fact, kiwi fruit contains more vitamin C by weight than an orange. Vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant on its own, but it also plays a supporting role for lutein and zeaxanthin, helping protect the delicate blood vessels in the retina and supporting the collagen structure of the eye itself. Think of vitamin C as backup security, working alongside your internal sunglasses to reinforce the whole protective system. Then there's vitamin E, another antioxidant found in kiwi, which works differently than vitamin C, but toward the same goal: neutralizing free radicals before they damage the fatty membranes of your eye cells. Your retina, interestingly, has one of the highest concentrations of fatty tissue in your entire body, which makes it especially vulnerable to oxidative damage and especially in need of fat-soluble protectors like vitamin E. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. The reason eating kiwi specifically before bed might matter even more than eating it any other time of day. While you sleep, your body isn't just resting, it's working. This is when repair processes ramp up all over your body, including in your eyes. your cells go into a kind of nightly maintenance mode, clearing out waste products, repairing damage from the day, and restocking nutrients for the next day ahead. And here's the key insight. If the raw materials for that repair, like lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin C, and vitamin E, are already circulating in your bloodstream, when this repair window opens, your body can put them to work immediately instead of waiting for you to eat breakfast the next morning. There's another piece to this puzzle, and it has to do with something surprising: sleep itself. Kiwi fruit contains natural compounds, including serotonin, which is a precursor your body uses to help regulate healthy sleep cycles. Some research has found that eating kiwi in the hour or two before bed may help people fall asleep faster and experience deeper, more restful sleep. And this connects directly back to eye health in a way most people never consider. Deep quality sleep is actually one of the most underrated tools for protecting your vision. It's during those deep sleep stages that your eyes clear out metabolic waste and reduce inflammation. Poor sleep, on the other hand, has been linked to increased eye strain, dryness, and even accelerated aging of the tissues in and around your eyes. So when you eat a kiwi before bed, you're not just feeding your eyes protective antioxidants right before their nightly repair shift begins. You may also be helping create the deep restorative sleep that allows those repairs to actually happen effectively. It's a two-in-one effect, fuel and opportunity delivered at exactly the right time. Now let's zoom out for a second, because protecting your eyes isn't only about the macula. There's another structure inside your eye that's just as important to think about: the lens. This is the clear part at the front of your eye that focuses light onto the retina, and over time it can become cloudy, leading to what's known as a cataract. Cataracts are incredibly common as people age, and while surgery can fix them later in life, prevention is always the better path. Antioxidants like vitamin C and vitamin E, both found generously in kiwi, have been studied for their role in protecting the proteins in the lens from the same kind of oxidative damage that leads to clouding over time. There's also a lesser-known benefit worth mentioning: potassium. Kiwi fruit is a good source of potassium, which supports healthy blood pressure. And blood pressure matters more for your eyes than most people realize, because the retina is packed with some of the smallest, most delicate blood vessels in your entire body. When blood pressure runs high over long periods, those tiny vessels can become damaged, a condition called hypertensive retinopathy, which can silently reduce vision over the years. So supporting healthy blood pressure isn't just good for your heart, it's protecting your eyesight too. Let's bring this back to something practical, because understanding the science is one thing, but knowing how to actually use it matters more. You don't need a huge amount. 1 or 2 kiwis, eaten about 30 minutes to an hour before bed, is enough to provide a meaningful dose of these protective nutrients. You can eat it plain, just slice it in half and scoop it out with a spoon, skin, and all, if you don't mind the texture, since the skin actually contains extra fiber and nutrients. Some people prefer to peel it, which is fine too. You could also pair it with a small amount of plain yogurt if you want something a little more filling, since the combination tends to be gentle on digestion and won't leave you feeling too full right before sleep. One thing to be mindful of: kiwi is fairly acidic. So if you have acid reflux or a sensitive stomach, eating it right before lying down might not feel great. In that case, try eating it about an hour before bed rather than right before you sleep, giving your stomach a little more time to settle first. It's also worth remembering that no single food is a magic fix. Kiwi works best as part of a bigger picture, a diet that includes plenty of colorful vegetables, especially leafy greens like spinach and kale, which are also rich in lutein and zeaxanthin. Think of kiwi as one powerful piece of a much larger puzzle rather than a standalone cure. Now let's talk about something most people never connect to their eye health, and that's screens. If you're someone who spends hours a day looking at a phone, a computer, or a TV, you're exposing your eyes to a much higher dose of blue light than any generation before us has ever experienced. That constant blue light exposure adds to the oxidative stress your macula has to deal with every single day. This doesn't mean you need to throw away your devices. That's not realistic for most people, but it does mean that giving your eyes extra antioxidant support, especially in the evening after a full day of screen exposure, makes even more sense. You're essentially replenishing the very nutrients that got used up defending your eyes throughout the day right before they head into repair mode overnight. This is also a good moment to clear up a common misconception. A lot of people assume eye health only becomes something to think about once they hit their 60s or 70s, once reading glasses show up, or vision starts blurring. But the truth is the damage that leads to conditions like macular degeneration and cataracts builds up slowly, silently, over decades. The habits you build in your 30s and 40s are shaping what your eyes will look like at 70. This is exactly why doctors emphasize prevention so heavily, because by the time symptoms appear, a significant amount of underlying damage has usually already occurred. The good news is that it's never too early, and it's rarely too late to start giving your eyes better support. Let's also address something people often ask: what about supplements instead of food? Lutein and zeaxanthin supplements do exist. And for some people, especially those with diagnosed eye conditions, doctors may recommend them at higher doses. But for most people simply looking to support long-term eye health, whole foods like kiwi offer a real advantage. Nature doesn't deliver these nutrients in isolation. It packages them together with fiber, water, enzymes, and dozens of other compounds that work together in ways scientists are still discovering. Supplements isolate a single piece of that puzzle, but food gives you the whole picture, often at a much lower cost, and with far less risk of taking too much of any one nutrient. If you wanted to build a simple, sustainable evening habit around this, here's what it could look like. About an hour before bed, instead of reaching for chips, cookies, or sugary snacks that spike your blood sugar and disrupt your sleep quality, reach for a kiwi instead. Pair it with a small handful of nuts if you want a bit more protein and healthy fat, which can further support the fatty structures in your eyes. Dim the lights, step away from your screen for at least 20 to 30 minutes before sleep, and let your body settle into its natural wind-down process. You're not just treating your eyes to a nutrient boost, you're creating an entire environment that supports the deep restorative sleep your whole body, including your vision, depends on. Over weeks and months, these small choices compound. Nobody notices a dramatic difference after one kiwi before bed, but over years, consistent little habits like this are exactly what separate the people who maintain sharp, clear vision well into their 80s from those who start losing it decades earlier than they need to. Your eyes are working for you every single moment you're awake, taking in the world without ever asking for a break. Giving them this small, simple form of support before you close your eyes each night might just be one of the easiest, most overlooked things you can do for your long-term vision. So, to bring it all together, your eyes are working around the clock, absorbing light, processing a world of color and detail, all without ever getting a real break. And just like every other hardworking part of your body, they deserve real support, not just when something goes wrong, but every single day as a form of prevention. That small green fruit sitting in your kitchen, kiwi, isn't a miracle cure, and no single food ever is. But when you understand what's happening inside your eyes as you age, and you see how directly something as simple as lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin C, and vitamin E can support that internal defense system, it starts to make sense why doctors keep coming back to whole, real foods as one of the most powerful tools we have. The best part is, this isn't complicated. It doesn't require a special diet, an expensive supplement stack, or hours of research every time you eat. It's one small, intentional choice repeated consistently night after night. Swap the late-night junk food for a kiwi. Give your body a head start before it goes into repair mode. Protect your sleep, protect your screen habits, and protect your eyes the same way you'd protect anything else you rely on every single day. If this changed the way you think about your evening habits, the best thing you can do right now is start tonight. Not next week, not after you finish the bag of chips in your pantry, but tonight. Your eyes won't thank you out loud. They'll just keep quietly doing their job, a little better protected for years to come. And if you found this helpful, share it with someone in your life who spends all day staring at a screen, or someone who's already noticed their vision starting to change. Small pieces of knowledge like this are exactly the kind of thing worth passing on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.